Raise your hand if you've booked a vacation and then gone shopping for that vacation. I think a lot of the clothes that we don't wear in our closet come from this habit and this behavior. And there's no judgment. I think we all do it because we want to honor the place where we're visiting while maintaining our own identity. My name is Alyssa. I am a slow fashion stylist, and I'm going to share with you today how to change the vibe and style of your outfits without shopping. I'm gonna take two of my favorite Italian cities, Milan and Rome, and compare the styles of both, and then take 5 key staples that I think we all have in our closet that a lot of us are likely to bring with us on vacation and style them 2 different ways, one way for Milan and one way for Rome. As someone who has been living in both Milan and Rome, this is also a reflection of how I've been dressing and how my style changes between these 2 cities. The 5 pieces we'll be styling today are a dress, a skirt, a button-up shirt, a pair of jeans, and a pair of trousers. The principles I'm going to talk about can be applied to anyone in any situation where you want to simply change your outfit without shopping. I did an entire video that does a deep dive into the differences between Rome and Milan, so I'm gonna leave that up here and in the description box below for you, but let's give it a quick rundown. Essentially, I'm gonna pull the overarching style themes that I see in Rome versus Milan. These themes are things like proportion, texture, how color is being used, silhouettes and shapes. All of these are what I like to call elements of style, and if you have trouble pinpointing what these are, I've created a course. It's here on YouTube, but I'll also leave it linked down below in case it's not available in your country. Milan is very classic, understated, sophisticated. It's very efficient and productive, forward-thinking, and a little bit intense. In terms of a color palette, this translates to something that feels a bit more serious. Darker colors like black, navy, olives, camels, and tans. These really rich, sophisticated tones. Yes, there's a lot of neutrals, and if color is being used, it's really calculated. When it comes to textures, it's very rich. We see a lot of classic textures, tweeds, wool, silk, linen in the summer. The biggest element that comes to mind for me with Milan though is a sharp and structured silhouette. Really great tailored separates, clean lines that speak to that efficiency and drive of the whole city. It's also very trend forward and trend led. Obviously, it's the fashion capital of the world. When it comes to Rome, it is almost the complete opposite. Rome is known as the eternal city. There's less of a sense of caring about being on trend or feeling that sense of novelty. The color palette is more organic, nature inspired. It's also very playful. The textures, again, are also very organic. There's knits and crochets and shine. There's also a lot of practicality and pragmatism simply because you walk a lot in Rome. The public transportation is not as efficient as it is in Milan, so you end up doing a lot of walking and chasing after buses that just don't feel like showing up. In terms of silhouettes, there's also a softer essence to Rome. Again, more playfulness, more flow, less hard structure and clean lines. Let's start with this dress that I thrifted in Milan. One of the easiest ways to create sophistication and drama in a look is to add contrast. So I'm doing this with a dark navy coat and the high black boot. This is also adding some nice tension in the textures. So the crochet with the beautiful wool and the sharp leather, and it's also adding a good amount of structure to the look. These understated hoops are perfect for Milan because they're so minimal and sleek. Since Rome is all about texture, I'm gonna let the crochet of this dress be the star of the show and style it over a pair of jeans. I also like that this adds a little bit more movement and flow to this dress because it's normally a little stiff, and Rome is all about that sense of ease. I'm also swapping out my earrings for something that feels softer and organic. To style this thrifted denim midi for Milan, I'm adding structure with the boxy crop jacket and a pointed shoe. Next, I'm adding a dark belt to create a strong focal point, and it also cinches my waist, which makes this whole look feel more polished. For Rome, I've swapped the sweater from a neutral gray to a softer yellow, and it adds that brightness and color. I'm also changing the shoes and the bag to add function, and this also feels a bit more quirky and adds that good kind of tension that works in Rome. I've also lost the belt, so now the skirt is sitting lower on my hips and just has that sense of relaxed ease. I'm using this denim midi as an example, but you could make these swaps with any kind of skirt. A tonal look feels super elegant and sophisticated, so for Milan, that's what I'm going for. I'm pulling from the blues in my button-up with this beautiful navy coat by the Curated, and I'm even bringing in the blue with my navy flats. Wearing the navy coat open also creates a nice visual column, which feels more structured and clean. I'm also styling the scarf inside my button-up. It feels, again, a little bit more polished and sophisticated this way. For Rome, I'm creating some low contrast by switching the blue for a brown. This creates a more dynamic look. I'm bringing in more texture with my loafers. I'm adding some function with a tote bag, and I'm wearing the scarf just long and loose to add more movement to my look, feels more free, and highlight the print mix. Okay, denim is the only category where I'm actually swapping out the whole piece. So for Milan, these structured bootcut indigo jeans are perfect. They're so sleek and they're very architectural. I'm adding even more structure by pairing them with my boxy cropped jacket. And I'm keeping that tonal sophistication with a navy blue sweater. But there's the high contrast in the jacket, which keeps it interesting. I've also got a pointed shoe and a heavier black bag. For Rome, I'm swapping out the denim for a lighter color to lighten up the palette, but also a silhouette that is a little bit more quirky and interesting. The cropped wide leg works beautifully to show off your shoes, and I'm keeping everything tonal, but with that little bit of yellow. So again, the contrast is a lot softer. I love how sleek and minimal these trousers are. So for Milan, I just stuck with that theme of minimal and simple. But the easiest way to make a simple look interesting is by layering. This is how you add depth. So I've got a cashmere sweater layered over a really thin merino, but I'm also layering my jewelry with some necklaces and some interesting earrings. I've got a sharp-toed black boot, and the black bag calls in the black from the trouser. For Rome, it's all about ease and texture, and I'm doing this by swapping out the sweaters for a chambray shirt. Wearing it untucked and leaving it open just feels easy and relaxed, and it's also showcasing that texture play more. I'm adding function with my sneakers and my little belt bag, wearing it over my shoulder, and I've swapped out the accessories for just a really great pair of stud earrings, and away I go. Still simple, but I liked it. So that is what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you preferred the style for Rome or Milan, or if there are cities that you would like me to dress for next. I mean, of course, that would mean I would have to go to these cities. That might take some work and a lot of budget, but how fun would that be? Okay, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, or if you learned something new. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching and for being enthusiastic about choosing creativity instead of consumption and slow fashion. I'm so grateful you're here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or your evening or wherever you're at, and I will see you in the next slow fashion video. Ciao!